Look at two people kissing. In a train station. In a hospital corridor. In a kitchen at 7 a.m. before anyone says a word. One person leans in. The other closes their eyes. And for a moment, the whole world disappears. Nobody taught them to do this. Nobody explained the rules. It just happened. But here's the strange part. No other animal does this. Not the way we do. So, where did it come from? For thousands of years, nobody asked this question seriously. Kissing was romance. Kissing was love. Kissing was poetry and paintings and songs. It belonged to art, not science. People assumed it was natural, universal, just something humans do, like breathing, like laughing. But when scientists finally looked closely, what they found was stranger than any love story ever written. This is not a story about romance. This is a story about survival, about ancient biology, about a behavior so old it predates civilization itself. And by the end of this, you will never think about a kiss the same way again. Imagine you are not human. Not yet. You are a primate, living in a forest 50 million years ago. You cannot speak. You cannot write. You cannot send a signal across distance. The only information you have about safety, about health, about whether another creature is strong or sick or trustworthy, comes from direct contact, touch, smell, taste. Your entire world is built from these three things. Now imagine another primate approaches you. It comes close, very close. It presses its face against yours. And in that single moment, your brain receives more information than any word could ever carry. The smell of their skin, the warmth of their breath, the chemical signals their body is broadcasting, friend or enemy, healthy or sick, safe or dangerous. All of it in one moment of contact. That is where the kiss begins. Not in love, in information. But it is not that simple. Because kissing is not universal. And this is the first thing that surprises people. Around 90% of human cultures kiss romantically. But that means 10% do not. Some tribes in Africa, some indigenous groups in the Americas, they never developed mouth-to-mouth kissing as a romantic gesture. They find it strange, even disgusting, which means kissing is not hardwired into us the way breathing is. It is something that developed, something that spread, something that evolved differently in different places. So the question becomes even stranger. If kissing is not universal, why did so many separate cultures, across thousands of miles and thousands of years, all independently arrive at the same behavior? What is the body trying to do when it kisses? Here is what science found. And it starts with your lips. Imagine every part of your body mapped onto your brain. The amount of brain space dedicated to processing sensations from that body part. Your back gets a small amount. Your elbow gets almost nothing. But your lips get more brain real estate than almost any other part of your entire body. More than your hands, more than your feet, more than your chest. Your lips are one of the most densely packed nerve endings on a human body. They are built for information gathering. They were designed by millions of years of evolution to be incredibly sensitive sensors, not for kissing. Originally for something far more basic, eating and survival. Early human infants use their lips before they use anything else. A newborn baby, hours old, will turn its head and find its mother using its lips and mouth. The mouth is the first tool of survival, the first instrument of connection, long before language, long before hands were used skillfully. The mouth was how we connected to the world and to each other. So when two humans press their lips together, they are activating one of the most sensitive, most ancient, most information-rich parts of the human body. And the brain lights up in response. Not just a little, enormously. When you kiss someone for the first time, your brain releases a cocktail of chemicals so powerful that scientists have compared it to a mild drug. Dopamine floods your reward system. Oxytocin, the bonding hormone, surges through your bloodstream. Serotonin spikes. Adrenaline fires. Your heart rate increases. Your pupils dilate. Your breathing changes. Your entire nervous system shifts into a state of heightened alert and pleasure simultaneously. And all of this happens in the first 3 seconds. But it is not that simple. Because here is what most people do not know. When you kiss someone, You are also running a biological test. Without knowing it, without choosing it, your body is analyzing the other person's immune system. Imagine two immune systems meeting for the first time, each one carrying a different set of defenses, a different library of antibodies, a different history of battles fought against bacteria and viruses and parasites. When you kiss, saliva is exchanged, and in that saliva, genetic and chemical information about the other person's immune system travels directly into your body. Your brain reads this information unconsciously, instantly, and it makes a judgment. Are this person's immune defenses compatible with mine? Would our children, if we had them, inherit a stronger combined immune system or a weaker one? This is called the major histocompatibility complex, or MHC. And studies have shown that people are consistently more attracted to partners whose MHC profile is different from their own. Different immune systems create stronger offspring. And the kiss, the physical act of pressing lips together and exchanging saliva, is one of the ways your body collects this information. You think you are being romantic. Your immune system is running a compatibility test. And here is where it gets even stranger. Women on hormonal birth control show a disrupted MHC preference. They sometimes find themselves more attracted to partners with similar immune profiles, the opposite of what their unmedicated biology would choose. Some researchers believe this is one reason why some couples, who met while one partner was on hormonal contraception, report a shift in attraction after stopping. The body's biological compass gets recalibrated. A kiss is not just a kiss. It never was. Now go back further, much further, before romantic kissing. Before modern humans even existed, there's a behavior in many primates called mouth-to-mouth feeding. A mother chews food until it's soft, then passes it directly from her mouth to her infant's mouth. This behavior still exists today in some human cultures. In some part of Africa and Asia, mothers pre-chew food for babies who cannot yet chew themselves. They pass it mouth to mouth. This behavior, intimate, close mouth-to-mouth, may be one of the oldest ancestors of the human kiss. Not romantic, not sexual, pure caregiving, pure connection. The closest two bodies can come, sharing breath, sharing food, sharing survival. Some anthropologists believe romantic kissing evolved from this, that the intimacy of mouth-to-mouth contact, already loaded with meaning about trust and safety and bonding, gradually expanded, first between mothers and children, then between bonded pairs, then between anyone expressing deep connection and trust. The kiss traveled from survival to love, over millions of years, without anyone planning it. But it is not that simple. Here is the part that modern science is still arguing about. Is kissing learned or instinctive? Imagine a child who has never seen anyone kiss. Raised in isolation from all romantic media, no films, no images, no stories. Would that child, as an adult, still discover kissing naturally? Or would they never think to do it? The answer is, we do not know. And that uncertainty is itself fascinating. What we do know is this: blind people kiss. People who have never seen a kiss still kiss, which suggests something in the behavior is encoded below the level of observation and imitation, something deeper than culture, something the body already knows. But we also know that some cultures never develop kissing, which means it is not purely instinctive either. It sits in a strange middle ground between biology and culture, between ancient instinct and learned behavior, between the body and the mind. That middle ground is where most of what makes us human lives. Now think about what happens chemically during a long relationship. In the early days, kissing is electric. Every kiss triggers that full cocktail of dopamine and oxytocin and adrenaline. The body treats each kiss like new information. High priority, maximum response. But over time, the chemistry changes. The dopamine surge reduces. The adrenaline quiets. And what replaces them is something different, something slower, something that scientists call the attachment system. Oxytocin, the bonding hormone, remains. But it works differently now. It does not spike. It settles. It becomes a steady background signal, a constant low hum of connection. This is why couples who have been together for decades still kiss. Not because it feels the same as it did in the beginning. It does not, but because the kiss has changed its function. It is no longer a test, no longer a flood of new information. It is a signal, a daily confirmation, a small biological ritual that says, I still choose you, the body's still here, the bond still held. And when that ritual stops, when couples stop kissing, research shows that relationship satisfaction drops significantly, not because the kiss itself is magic, but because the stopping of it signals something, a withdrawal, a distance, a gap forming where connection used to live. The kiss holds relationships together not through chemistry alone, but through consistency, through repetition, through the small daily act of choosing closeness. Now think about the cultures that do not kiss romantically. What do they do instead? They touch foreheads. They press noses together. They hold hands in ways that carry the same weight. The behavior is different, but the need underneath it is identical. Closeness, contact, information, trust, connection. Every human culture on Earth, kissing or not, has developed some form of intimate physical greeting between bonded individuals. The specific act varies. The biological need driving it does not. This tells us something important. The kiss is not the thing. The thing underneath the kiss is the thing. The ancient need to close the distance between two bodies, to exchange information, to confirm safety, to say without words, I am here, you are safe, we are connected. Every kiss is a sentence, written in a language older than words. Today you live in a world where kissing is everywhere. Films, advertisements, greetings between friends in some cultures. The biological signal has become a social one. The survival test has become a greeting. The ancient mouth-to-mouth feeding behavior has become a symbol of love so universal that a simple image, two silhouettes, faces close, communicates romance to almost any human on Earth. But underneath all of that culture, underneath all of that meaning, we have layered on top. The original signal is still running. Every time you kiss someone you care about, your lips are still sending information. Your immune system is still listening. Your brain is still lighting up the same ancient circuits that lit up in primates 50 million years ago. You think you are being romantic. Your body thinks it is doing something far more important. Now think about the last person you kissed. Really think about it. Not the romance of it. Not the moment of it. Think about what your body was doing underneath that moment. The information it was gathering. The chemicals it was releasing. The ancient test it was running. Without telling you, without asking your permission, you were not just kissing someone. You were reading them at a biological level so deep it predates language itself. And they were reading you back. The kiss arrived before civilization, before language, before love songs and wedding rings and romantic comedies. It arrived when we were still figuring out how to survive, when closeness meant safety, when another person's breath on your face meant trust. We built empires. We wrote poetry. We invented the internet. And we still press our lips against the lips of people we love, doing the same thing our ancestors did in forests before memory began. Not because we were taught to, not because a film told us to, because something in the body still remembers what closeness costs, what it means, what it protects. Every kiss is a reminder. You are not alone. You chose this person. And for this one moment, everything else disappears. That is not romance. That is 2 million years of survival, finding its softest, quietest, most human expression. And you do it without thinking, every single time.